There we are. Hello, everybody. Sorry for the delayed start. I needed a couple extra minutes to get everything together here, so it was all perfect for you. I just want to be perfect for you. Anyway, welcome to Tea with G. Maybe you've found the title for today interesting or provocative. It's strange, right? Pathless path. What the hell does that mean? Is that some of that, that non-dual, weird non-dual stuff people talk about? There's no me, there's no you, none of that. Yeah. Well, yeah, it is kind of. It is kind of that. But the strange language that pops up in non-duality and Zen and the like is it's there for a reason. What's a pathless path? How can you have two things that are so contradictory, right, that they appear to be utterly mutually exclusive, but they're actually not. They just they point to a very important point, a very fine point on the spiritual journey. If I was to ask you right now to stand up and walk over to yourself, you'd scratch your head. What in the world is he? What in the world was he thinking? What's this all about? But that's the thing. We're all in the search for happiness, for freedom, for fulfillment, to the end of human suffering. We're all in that state. And we look for it absolutely everywhere, but miss where it's coming from. I missed it over and over again. Even when I'd had really enormous spiritual experiences, I was dancing around to this place and couldn't quite get there. The assumption, the underlying assumption that underlies our whole lives, it's what we're taught, it's what we're indoctrinated into. The whole culture is based on it. The world order is based on it. Is this idea that we are separate from the truth. Whatever you might call it. Separated from yourself. Somehow you have to go find yourself. Our whole identity is formed on this sense of separation. The religions are. All of the religions that deal with God as the other, the great other, that somehow we need to form some kind of a relationship to him, usually him, to get to it. And even if you start down a more non-dual path, a more spiritual path that recognizes oneness, there's a sense that I've got to get somewhere. I've got to walk a path and get there. And it's almost inconceivable to say to somebody, you don't have to go anywhere. You're already there. Yeah, right. No, I've got to improve. I've got to grow in all of this. I've made all these mistakes. There's some arrogance and egotism in me. I've got to become pure. And that's a path. Right? But a path to what? What does it mean to actually become one with the object of our devotion? Where's the end of the path? It's always the realization that I am now and always have been one with that for which I have been seeking. And in that sense, It's not a path. You've always been who you are, the true self. Whether you call it God or Allah or Yahweh or Vishnu, or it doesn't matter, the local guru. It doesn't matter what you call it. The name that you give to it, this mysterious it. It's your true nature. It's who you actually are. But before we were born, this assumption that I'm separate from that, I am not that, and that sense of separation, but because not just from that, I'm separate from the world, I'm separate from the universe, I'm separate from the people around me, I'm separate from love, I'm separate from value, I'm separate from prosperity, or I'm separate from safety. Everything is this. It's disconnect, trying to grab onto it. And that assumption is so deeply rooted in us, and the whole culture, our whole world is based on it, that when someone comes along and says, none of it's actually true, none of it is who you actually are, there has been within your mind an image created of yourself, a deeply held assumption that you are separate. And you're not. But it's so deeply ingrained, it's everywhere. It is in every thought, every feeling, every emotion, every sensation, every programmed response, every bit of conditioning. It's been there making choices and decisions, picking your mates, your clothes, your work, your opportunities. It's all been based on that assumption that seems impossible to question. But the truth of the matter is, it's true now, it's always been true. That's why there is no path to it. There can't be a path to where you already are. But because it is believed so deeply and held to so deeply, we must walk a path to overcome, transcend, scrutinize, and see through the layers of belief and assumption, deep, unconscious, that have been governing our lives. Even while we know they're not true, we have to walk the path of realizing that on a visceral, experiential level, and clearing out all the muck, letting this truth sink deep into us, to kind of penetrate, marinate, and colonize the whole of your human life. Not just a revelation that we can have, because we have those. There are all sorts of different kinds, means. We can have enormous experiences of openness, spaciousness, and like a shoop, and then it closes up again. They're wonderful. They point us in the right direction. But anything that comes and goes can't be it. So there's this need for it to sink in and kind of reclaim all of the territory. And we can't do that purely through intellect. There's no technique for doing it. And so it is both a path and not a path. It's not a technique. It's not a teaching. This isn't about coming to believe something, even believing something that is true. Right? Oh, I'm already that. Okay, I'm already the self. I've heard people talk like that. Oh yes, I am God. I know that. And it's just, the words are right. But it's just, once again, the belief in a separate self usurping the words, and giving temporary relief to the the sense of something missing that is the actual fact, the discontent that is driving it. Yeah, I'm already there. Yeah. When you are, you don't have to say so. It just emanates from you. And to approach this with the kind of humility that recognizes that this is so subtle and so deeply ingrained that it takes help and guidance to find it, and it takes vigilance and perseverance and persistence and love and patience and a pretty good sense of humor, because you're going to be surprised at what you find. You're going to be surprised at the things you believed, at your own behaviors when you actually see them for what they are, and you're just going to be face palming yourself in the mirror. Oh my God, really? I did that. Yeah, I did. Sometimes very painful insights, but this is the path that isn't really a path. It's a teaching that isn't really a teaching. It's a practice that isn't really a practice. It's simply looking. Learning to look without a story. That's it. Learning to experience yourself directly. The actual experience of yourself, not thoughts about yourself, not a story about yourself, not ideas, not what anybody else says, nothing you've read in books, even great books, even scriptures, not what anybody else has said to you, teachers, even great teachers. All they can do as best is point. You don't need to read all the scriptures. They all say pretty much the same thing. Turn inward. Turn to God. Turn to what is called God. That word is, I got to do something about that. The ultimate, the absolute truth. Turn towards it. It's there. But we have to sort through all of these assumptions on a bunch of different levels, including digging up stuff that isn't even thought-based. It's feeling-based. It's energetic. And so there is a path that we have to walk until it culminates and we find, I've never been anywhere else. Buddha talked about it as getting in a boat. And after a journey in life, you finally make it to the other shore. Then you get out on that shore, and the boat vanishes off somewhere, and you turn around and you find out it's the very same shore you left from. Only now it's different. So this is the pathless path. The name isn't so strange when you realize that it's really difficult to put this stuff into words because it's so very subtle. So the creative use of words, even unpleasant words, and profanity and humor and provocativeness and paradox, and all of it is to shake the foundations of our assumptions so that we see that they are assumptions. No matter how long they've been held, no matter how touted they are as the absolute truth, they are assumptions based on pure imagination. You are what you have been seeking. It's the hardest thing for us to do is to recognize and accept that you are the self. You are that. You are the pure, infinite, absolute. All right. I will leave it at that. Not way longer than I expect, but so what else is new? So let me say hi to everyone. Victor, hello, Victor from Sweden. Good. Jennifer, good to see you, Jennifer. Hello, Babuji. There's Mary, Gigi, and everyone. Thanks for your blessings. Bless you. Thank you, Victor. Wonderful. Wow. Thanks. David and Elaine. Yes, wonderful. Good to see you guys. There's a mystic poet, Faith, from north of France. Good to see you, love. Savvy Stacker. Hiya, GP and chat. I thought something was wrong with the stream. No one was chatting. I kept refreshing the page. Yeah, I don't think, I'm not sure you see. No, I don't know how it works. I'm so tired. I am so tired of trying to figure out technology and win its favor. I give up. I accept the fact that I am going to be messing up technology. You know, it's just a fact. I take it. Hello, CM, and hello to you, David. Mystic Poet. What beautiful music with a soothing title. Oh, thank you. It's something I just finished recently. I suddenly, over the last few weeks, I've just had the impulse to write some new music. Nothing involved like I used to do. Just stuff like this. Just kind of atmospheric and nice. That one took quite a while to get right though, but it was a nice trip. Anyway, I feel tired, my guru. My heart is full of tools, methods, and strategies to get that wonderful life. I'm also tired of waiting for that union to meet the beloved, for the veil to come down. Yeah, good. All I could say is good. Everybody, just for a moment, since we're right at the beginning of the open floor for everyone, just right now, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, as long as you're listening and you're not in the gym on the treadmill or something like that, but you're somewhere where you can just sit quietly, close your eyes, take a couple breaths, sink into your body, and just set an intention, make a choice to set aside all of it. To just empty yourself of techniques, of methods, of strategies, of teachings, of ideas. The struggle to get things, also of our desires, our ambitions, our aspirations, the things we keep reaching for. Just make a choice in this moment to just drop them. Not pushing them away, not saying they're not important, right? But for a moment, right? A little bit of time here while we're together. Just set them to the side. Say, I'll get back to you later. Right now, I want to be here with no work to do. If there's any work to do here, let the guy on the screen do it. Let him do the heavy lifting. That's why he's here. And really do it. Really make up your mind to do it. And it's not that the impulse, the feeling, the thoughts aren't going to come. They are. It's a choice to not log into them, to not engage with them. Say, right, yeah, I'll get back to you. And just persistently, consistently. All of our aspirations and ambitions, all the things we've been working for, all the reasons why we've gone through all the methods and strategies, and we've visualized until basically our face turned blue and tapped till you have dents in your face, whatever that, just put it aside. Be empty. Memories of the past, even traumas, things come up and you give you a little sting, or they hurt. You go, okay, that too. Yeah. It's not that it's not important. It's not that it's something that may have to really be dealt with, but not now. I can make this space for myself. And speaking of myself, see if you can also choose to just drop, let go, put to the side. It's going to hands open, not holding on to anything. Just put that to the side. Who I believe myself to be, my self-image, how I view myself, how I think of myself, what all the feelings mean when a feeling comes up. Oh, this means this about me. Just put it aside. I'm not saying it's right, it's wrong, it should be there, it shouldn't be there. Nothing like that. No dispersion or any kind of judgment of any of it. Just a choice to give yourself some space. Just the space. And what's here? What remains? Feelings are running through. Thoughts go by. Sensations are always flying. There's no story. Not logging into anything. They're just thoughts going by. They're just emotions coming and going. Just sensations rippling through. And then there's you. It's right there. Notice that in that space, it's just you. No story, no past, no future, no self-image. Just empty. You're still here. And it's quiet. And there's no suffering. Now this is you. This is you without all the other stuff. Right? Gets our attention and for a moment, setting it aside. It's just you. It's quiet. It's still. You might even say content. Yeah, the mind's like, yeah, but what about later? Thank you. What does it feel like to just be me with nothing extra added to it? It's just the feeling of being. And notice, that wasn't a technique. It wasn't a practice we did to get to someplace. We just made a choice to not engage with all the things we normally engage with and feel all the inner reactions when we do. To just withdraw for a moment. Just for a moment. Just giving yourself a little break. And it's not a technique, and yet, look at what's here. Look at the state that's here, which is totally quiet. This is the real you. This is God. This is the absolute. It's not hard. No tools or methods or strategies needed. Just a moment of genuine self-attention. Notice, this self is not a thought, is it? It's not an idea, it's not a concept. It's not the result of some practice you've done. It's just here. I just am. I didn't even make me. I didn't do this. I just am. This is how simple it actually is. But now, as you take a breath now and open your eyes, you'll notice that the body, the mind, they start reacting to things around it. This is what they do. Just whenever you can. Notice it didn't take a lot of time. A few moments and suddenly, oh yeah, I'm here. You do this enough and it'll take no time whatsoever. Every time you'll feel yourself go, your mind's, oh yeah, that's right. Just thank you. I'll get right back to you. Just be there. Take a couple of breaths. And after a while, it becomes so intuitive and so natural. It'll just happen on its own. You won't have to do anything. And little by little, you become aware of that, even in the midst of all of any chaos. And eventually, it'll just, there won't be anything else. And you'll find that you realize the self and you didn't even realize you were realizing. Because it's that direct and that simple and right at the heart of you. It isn't elaborate. It's not a huge experience. It's not Hollywood special effects. It's not the great revelation. It's the simple fact of being. You just are. And your being must be there before any of the rest of this can happen. It's this emptiness is the source of everything. This is the Buddha, this is the Christ, this is all the gods and goddesses. They're all you. Okay. If you haven't opened your eyes, you can do so, and it's a great way to start, isn't it? Just remembering who you are. This is what it means, remember who you are. Oh yeah, that's right. I am not all this. I'm not all the reactive patterns. I'm not all the stuff that, and the reactive patterns there, it's okay. They have to be. The nervous system reacts to stuff around it. So does the mind. All the sensations, they are reacting to the environment. They can do that. And they will do that all on their own. They don't require you. So I'm not those things. I have to be there for them to be there. This is just experience. It's not who I am. So, hello, Ava. Good to see you. Of course. Dropped to see you. While I had water going from neighborhood floor. Very tired, so I'll listen tomorrow later. Whenever you want to, dear lady. Wonderful. Tomas, wonderful to see you, and Carl and Marty. All flats to the ground floor. It's wonderful. Yeah, great. Great face. Yeah, yes you are. Carl, hi G. The contrast between my inner peace and stuff outside was unbearable this Christmas. If an advert for starving children came up in my phone or a friend tried to tell me some bad news, I found myself avoiding people, and I still am. Help, please. It's okay. We need to learn some very simple things, really very simple things. First off, right, that inner peace is the reality of you. But as I said, that's the reality. That's it. That's the whole of it. That's the no path. That's what's here. It's always been here. It's always going to be here. And and that's the realization. Now, here's the path. How do I allow that to permeate the whole system, colonize it, dissolve everything else, and reconfigure my entire energy system with that as the center instead of what it is now? So it was unbearable to the one who identified with a persona or a person that thought all of this stuff shouldn't be happening. I've got to get out of here. Now, this isn't just in the head, it's in the body. So that the sense of identity is in the emotional system. It's in the nervous system. So that there is can be an overload simply because the way the nervous system has been programmed and conditioned. So, people can get this stuff on their phone, or their friend can tell you some bad news, and it'll go right through them. In my line of work, I hear a lot of bad news from people. They come to me for relief from the bad news, to find a way through that, because the nervous system is reacting to it the way it was conditioned to do. And for some, it can be, I got to do something about that. For others, it can be angry, oh, that horrible person. For others, it can be, I gotta get away. But you're feeling an overload. Everybody does. There are circumstances I walk into, and I was in Las Vegas visiting a friend, and we went out to dinner. And if you're in Las Vegas, it doesn't matter what restaurant you go to, you have to walk through a casino to get there. And I'd never been in a casino. I'd never been in Las Vegas. This was several years ago. I was in one in Uruguay, and it was this quiet, elegant place, completely different, in Vegas. And when I walked into that place, the noise, the cacophony, the lights, it was, I mean, it was like freaking out. It was total overload for my nervous system. When we got to the restaurant and the door closed, I was like, oh. Now, I could take that as a problem that I have, or I could just recognize that, yeah, it was never made to be an environment like that. It's going to feel all chaotic, and get out of there. Right? Just get out of there. The same experience going to family events with my kids, as they got to the age where they were interacting with the other cousins and things like that, and seeing the effect that it had on them. It's like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is nuts. But it's not a problem. So if you see that this isn't a problem, it's just the way it's reacting. And you can also see that there's probably a more a better way of responding that you'd really like to get to. But whether you get there or not, recognize that inner peace is not touched by it. It can be covered up by it because our attention goes so much to the disturbance. But if we just, oh yeah, well, okay, this is how I'm reacting to it, then even in that statement, the I is witnessing the nervous system reacting, and there's a disidentification that's taken place. Anyway, oh, it's just, excuse me, it's just the way your nervous system was programmed. Knowing that, you can begin to let that knowingness permeate, and it will reconfigure the system. It will reprogram. Because the programming depended upon your participation in it. You're receiving that in what is unbearable for the nervous system as if it was you. I found it unbearable. I freaked out with the starving children. I freaked out when a friend told me bad news, or somebody was going to complain about something. But it wasn't you. It was the system reacting. And you've always been the inner peace that's aware of it. Let the identity come to there, and that knowingness, which is your being, and it's, we just did it in a little exercise. Just, oh yeah, come back to here. No, I'm still here. This is going on, but I'm still here. That knowingness becoming experiential for you through persistence and consistency, that will reprogram the system. So it'll get to the point where it'll only freak out when it really needs to, when there really is something to freak out about, and not just being on edge and reacting like that. And then the system all by itself will not feel the need to avoid people in order to keep from feeling them. But if it does now, let it. I do. Believe me, I don't walk into casinos. And I don't like being around large crowds. If I have to be, fine. I will receive what's happening. I will watch what my nervous system does with it. And I'll just be very kind and compassionate with it. There's people I interact with every day that are not the least bit interested in this. Horrible things that are happening in the world and conspiracy theories and all sorts of stuff. Okay. Get away. It's like, yeah, just let it go by. Bless them. Yeah. So, yeah. Does that help, Carl? Very good. Anne, oh, lovely to see you. Greetings and blessings. One beautiful heart. Yeah, we are. Joseph said, I once went to buy milk in Las Vegas. Sorry, I mean to put that up there. It cost me $250. You had to go through the casino and the promise of instant wealth in order to get a gallon of goddamn milk. That's funny. I mean, it's like that. You go into a gas station or a convenience store, or a kiosco, and there's slot machines in there. You get out of the airplane at the airport. There's slot machines everywhere. It's like, come on. I mean, it's it's the devil all dressed up with great evening entertainment. Oh, man, funny, very funny. And Savvy Stacker, I will never go to Vegas again. Interestingly enough, there's quite a large spiritual community in Las Vegas. I gave talks there and did some workshops and interacted with people. It's quite alive, right in the midst of that chaos and grotesqueness, really. Quite alive. As it is everywhere. Tomas, it's interesting how other people think that I don't care about anything just because I don't identify with what's happening. I take it easy, no drama. Let unfold in peace. But that's not the case. Well, yes, that's kind of part of the deal. People aren't going to understand it. They're not going to understand why you don't react in the same way that they do. People feel comfortable with people who are like them. So very resistant to change. But when we do allow ourselves to change and transform, when we do allow these things to sink in to the level where they actually transform us, they transform the system. Can't transform you. You are already the perfect self. But transforming the system through which the self expresses itself and transforming the idea you have about yourself, it's going to create a disturbance in the force. It just does. People, oh, he doesn't care about anything. Yeah, he's just always one of those non-dual guys who says, it doesn't matter, it's all an illusion. No, not the case. But unless the opportunity comes up where you can genuinely, heart to heart, talk about it, and not just take a side and argue your point, then you just kind of, comes with the territory. But now, take a nice closer look to the sense of the one who and how it views the others and how you're reacting to the others. Use every time you say, I don't. They think, and remember, you, they are all based on I. That's why it's second person and third person, singular and plural. Without I, there's no you. So no matter what you say, no matter what object you point at, no matter what pronoun you use, I is there. So whatever is said, other people, is from the reference point of I. And they think, I says they think, because I don't identify. I take it easy. Now, I'm not diminishing it. This is the progress that takes place. Things don't ruffle you as much. I just want to keep inviting you to go even deeper. Okay, so who's the I there? Talking about them thinking. Who's the I that says, I don't identify with what's happening. I take it easy. You'll notice that there are very subtle layers of identity here that we don't see right away. Because the moment you get to a place where some equanimity emerges and you find you're not reacting, right? That the sense of identity has dissolved enough that you're actually feeling more of your natural equanimity and peace and non-reactiveness. A whole new level opens up, and Maya all of a sudden becomes, oh, look, I made it. Look what I acquired. Look how I've done. Man, I really take it easy now. The I simply has shifted. It's a shapeshifter. It's taken on a new form. So this isn't to diminish that. Yeah. All of this stuff we experience as the progress increases in peace, in compassion, in patience, in not being and not being reactive. That's the perfume. It's proof you're on the path. It's evidence you're on the path. But it's the perfume of the self. You want to keep going until you get that sense of I completely disappears into the self. So there's nothing there to identify with what's happening. Not an improved version that doesn't identify, but nothing there at all that could identify. There's just what's happening. Of course, that's at that point you realize that there's nothing happening but you. There aren't any others. It is all this play of consciousness, all this movements in consciousness. And you are that consciousness. Yeah. Victor, there's a reason God gave us legs. Yeah, it's to get the hell out of Dodge. Absolutely. Yeah. Don't fall for the spiritual idea, the spiritual platitude that somehow you just need to be there. No, you don't. You don't. You're completely free to, you don't have to force yourself into anything. You're completely free to just, wow, this is too much. I'm out of here. Unless you can't. And if you can't, well, then you just go, okay, I have to be here. All right. Where is the growth for me here? What is it here that I'm ready to release and let go of and never be bothered by again? What's there? What I can I now surrender to the truth? Yeah. Short of that, use your legs. Ellie, the slot machines in the airport blew mine too. I've never experienced that anywhere. Airports all over the world, and to get out of the airport and suddenly, and it's like, oh wow, wow, where the hell am I? It is madness. Let's face it, it's madness. It is a world gone mad, and our job is to be the point, the lighthouse of sanity amidst the madness. Hello to you. This is just water today. Well, water, lemon, a little stevia, sparkling water. So I've kind of got my own version of lemonade. Hello to you, Liza. L, hi to you. Hey, yeah, to Dante, who says, it could be said that to care is to take something as part of yourself. However, there is such a thing as transcendent caring. Tricky eye. Yeah, what happens is, as the I disappears, what emerges, right? The sense of I, the limited sense of a personal I, which is simply the thought I projected on to the reactions of the nervous system and all the stuff that's going on in life. As that begins to dissolve, and the sense I sinks more and more into who you are, and transcends all of that, not being concerned about it, that the true I becomes more and more and more clear, and more what in fact is present. And as a result, the fact that you're not engaged, you're not reacting to the drama, but you're there with just the most incredible love and compassion. But the wisdom. So there's empathy, but it doesn't get embroiled. It's all of the feeling of somebody who really cares deeply, right, is really, absolutely there, present for it, and is at the same time not embroiled in it. There's a wisdom that is distant and watching, and a compassion that is right down in the mud with it. It's a most extraordinary and paradoxical thing. And it happens very naturally. It's even part of the process of becoming a healer. It's part of what I teach when I teach energy healing, because that's where it gets to. Right? If you have such ambitions, you don't have to, of course. But we all want to be present, to be a peacemaker, to be able to alleviate suffering for others without getting all wrapped up in it. It's proverbial. The people in the helping practices burning out because they're not taking care of that. They're actually hiding somewhat from their own pain by taking on other people's pain, and that eventually wears out. It burns out, and it doesn't mean that it's not authentic, the desire to help others, but it's mixed, and this mix is what we need to become aware of and purify it. So that desire to help, to alleviate suffering, to be there for anybody, which is real right from the beginning, but is no longer mixed. It's absolutely pure, and there's no overhead. There's still the wisdom there that sees beyond, right? and can be in those circumstances that can be quite excruciating, right? Without falling into it, knowing full well that it is not the reality, and that vision that it isn't is at work dismantling it for whoever it is you're in front of, and that's real love. Right? It's real love. It's not aloof, right? But it's not in the mix. It's not wrapped up in the whole thing. Yeah, it's extraordinary. But this is the true nature of yourself. This is the real deal, that is the perfection of everything. The perfect amount of absolutely everything. And it is that self It's even inspired you to look for the self. So, I got my sparkle on, huh? Am I sparkling? Jeez. Thanks, GP, says Carl. I just find myself not wanting to be friends with these people anymore. They seem too materialistic and focused on the negative. Or am I taking awareness too far? I find it confusing. Good. I'm glad. Right? It is confusing because you're doing right now exactly what I was just talking about. You're trying to find this point at which, because you're not hating them. You don't. You know, even too materialistic and focused on the negative. I'm sensing in you that it's not just this judgment. You materialistic folks, stop focusing on the negative. There's love there and compassion there, but it doesn't fit. It's not helpful. It's not. It's creating suffering, and you don't want to be around it. This is natural. This is what happens. Right? We outgrow this stuff, and it's inevitable that we do, and you have to. So what you need to do is come to this place that says, you know what? I don't know how to navigate this territory, and I don't want to rely on just reacting, old patterns, memories, habits, and things like that. Nor do I want to be overwhelmed by the actual repulsion I'm feeling now. It is, the conversations are negative, they're materialistic, they're taking a side, they're not at all helpful, right? So you could just like fall down in a prayer and say, show me the way through this. Show me the way through this. Right? And if you just do it with that kind of a surrender, right? And I emphasize that because we often, especially on this path, get embroiled in this notion that somehow you've got to do it, figure it all out, make it happen. I've got to meditate more. I've got to do more self-inquiry rather than going, wow, man, this is over my head. Help. I'm trying to find the true middle way where I'm not cruel and judgmental, but I'm not in it because I can't be there anymore. I can't be there unless there's something I can do to purify it and raise it up. If I can't, there's no point in me being there at all. And if you do that with just the prayer and patiently just watch, keep going back to that place where it's just, you're empty, absolutely empty. You're going to find it's just going to happen. You're going to know exactly what to do, or it'll just disappear. And you don't actually care how it happens. And you don't have to figure out how it happens. You just have to open your heart and let it happen. And it will. That I guarantee, because as Rumi put it, the power that brought me here must bring me home. The insights and realizations you've had that have brought you to this point where this wasn't tolerable anymore. It's the same one. It's not you. It's not your doing. It's brought you here, and it's going to bring you the rest of the way. Surrender to it. Submit to it. Trust. You'll come to trust it. Hello, Jay. Oh, buddy. Hi, G. I was looking at this feeling of boredom. Oh, sorry. it came up when I was thinking about self-inquiry, and I really wanted to look into it and see if it's showing up for any reason. Nothing was showing up. There was just this feeling of it. It was like, okay, well, I see it, but can I find any true contentment with this feeling being here? And yes, there was. That feeling wasn't as solid as I almost made it to be. The attention could always be brought back to yourself, no matter how intense the feelings seemed to be, or even how vague the seeing could be. Yes, yes, exactly so. That's what else can be asked of you than that? Right? It's not your job to make the transformation in life happen. It's only your job to be the conduit through which it can happen. And that means, okay, I'm bored. All right, is there something here for me to see? Is there something here within me that needs to come up and be seen so that it's not an influence anymore? So that I'm seeing clearly, that it's not some level that has gone undetected so far. Is it that? Or is it just a feeling of boredom and I go, oh, it's a feeling of boredom and it has no meaning whatsoever, no connection to anything. You don't want to make a story up about it, but you don't want to assume there's no story. It's a very precise path, right? But you notice that once you see that, it's, oh yeah, of course, right? It's like you find that in that moment, you can't rely on the past or any kind of concept. You have to be right in the middle of this place where, you know what, I don't know. And you just stare with an open heart into this murky place. There's an answer there. And I want to see it. And that's actually what faith is. Faith is, as the Amplified Bible put it, perceiving as real fact that which is invisible to the senses. Yeah, just, right. There's a creative tension that's there because the habit energy wants something to happen. It does not like to sit in the void. It doesn't want to wait for an answer. It wants to deliberate, think it out, refer to things, watch a video, read some scripture, talk to somebody. It wants just let me act. I got to do something. We don't have to do it. Right? And we won't do anything until what we do, what actually happens, is coming from some place other than just, I got to act on it. Anything's better than nothing. And so, can I find any true contentment right here, even while this is going on? Beautiful question. That's a sense that, how do I make the best use of this? If there's something to be made. And just, you post it, oh yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. It's not really solid. It's okay, that's what it is. Contentment isn't a thing that's solid anyway. And you recognize that no matter what was happening, there was this capacity to come back to me. Because no matter how distracted I am, how much I am in the fray, I'm here looking at it. And I've just for so long just tried to find myself, and I've been the one looking at it the entire time. And this idea that somehow I'm only myself if none of this is here. And it said, well, wait a minute, the whole chaos, the whole mess, the whole bloody mess is here, and I'm here. Here I am. What a revelation. It never touched me. It's just going on. Oh, I'm back into it again. Hey, forget it. Just the pendulum will swing. The ping pong ball will go back and forth for a while. But you just keep looking, keep seeing, just like Jay's been doing. And yeah, and I mean, it's been very fun. Even times in one of our self-inquiry songs, I literally watched the light go on in his eyes. It's like, and it was a whole other level. You know, he's been operating from that level ever since. It's such a beautiful thing to watch. We can't make that happen. You can't make it do it. I can't make it. Just show up. Just keep showing up and showing up and showing up. And recognizing all the places of insincerity within us that say, I'm showing up, but want to pretend they're showing up, but not really showing up. the whole thing, the whole funny mess. And it is a funny mess. It just gets seen in this light of just the most beautiful, unconditional loving compassion that is the real essence of being. That's the real God. Sebi says, I think we outgrow people because we are no longer on the same path. Exactly. The points of connection that bounded you at one point and were satisfying at one point don't exist anymore. They're gone. And sometimes people grow with you, and it grows, and there's a deeper connection then, and a much more beautiful relationship. It's wonderful you can see that if that can happen in couples. Wonderful. Oh my God, it can be so beautiful. So she continues, I love my family, but I had to let them all go for my well-being. I had to love them. I loved myself more. Yep. Yeah, I did the same thing. We sometimes have to do that. And sometimes there's a reconnection does take place. It may not be satisfying, but it won't be unnerving. And something in us can be satisfied by that, but doesn't have to. Never have any contact again. My family is pretty much gone. A little bit ago. My sister, of course, was very important in my life. She was kind of one of my saviors. Actually, the main one for quite a while. She didn't even realize it. And she lives here, and I spent Christmas evening with her, and we coffee regularly, and that's a wonderful connection. But the rest of my family, none. My sister and I are going to actually, we're setting up a Zoom call between her and I and my brother, our brother, who I haven't talked to in probably 20 years. And I'm really looking forward to it. Nervous as hell. but I want it to happen. And I just do. I'm not even sure why, but I do. Let's get him on Zoom. Let's the three of us sit and chat. I let go of so many people, and some were taken away. I'm all alone now. I have to remind myself that was a choice I made for my own well-being. Chose to let go of toxic people. That's a good thing, even if it feels horribly lonely at times, and it will, for a time. Not to worry, really. We want to think that we make all these perfect choices. I'm now choosing for myself, and I'm choosing for my spiritual freedom and enlightenment. And we have this notion that somehow it's going to always feel good. No. You're going to feel the loss. You're going to feel the grief. You're going to feel it. Because there was something being met there, but you began to realize that it wasn't being met, or the cost to have what little was being met was too great, and you had to step away. And now feel the loneliness the emptiness, the emotional emptiness, that was there the whole time, but was masked by the superficial relationships. And this was what's really here. Now, if you just be with that, really be with that, with your whole heart. Grieve it, whatever has to anger, whatever needs to come up, just let it come up. Don't cling to any of it. Let it come. And what'll happen is that the whole system will adapt so beautifully that it will all by itself reach out and connect with a whole new level of the kind of interaction, companionship, and relationship that fits where you are now, because you've been willing to make the transition. And, well, it's already started in the classes that you're in, the people you're meeting there. But it'll get more personal and touchy feely too. I mean, that's also part of it. Just everyone have faith that there's something very real, very powerful that is working on your behalf. It's not all on you. The purification that's taking place, the things you've realized, the choices you've had to make have not been random. They've not been coming from you, but the wisdom and the love that is bubbling up in you. Not because we deserve it or we've done great work and we're really good at this, meditating or self-inquiry, but because it's time for you to wake up, and the God of love is managing the process. It's time. Your time has come. There's nothing you can do about it. It is your destiny to wake up. And that's what's running the show. Influencing, touching, and causing you to see everything that you've seen, causing you to choose what you've chosen until you so totally surrender it that there is nothing but that God of love. That the you who was being brought home was never you in the first place. So, if you all don't mind, I am going to take a quick break here. Because I need to. And I will be right back. Okay, I'm back and ready for round two, and walked out into the hall, and and of course, good thing that this old house I live in is nice, thick, solid wood doors, because football games. A bunch of guys live in this house, and a lot of football fans, and football games. Monday night, Thursday night, all day Sunday. Football, 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 football. I've always been curious as to how is it that you name a game um, about something that basically never happens in the game. It never touches the damn feet, right? If it does, it's like, that didn't work. You don't get credit. I mean, every now and then, some skinny little guy comes up, kicks it. That's it. Until they can find a name that actually makes any sense, I'm just writing the whole thing off. Yeah, it's just too weird. Just too weird. Yes. Carl, thank you, G. I will try that. Yes, I love these people. They are long-term friends. Oh, I know, man. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to let go of what isn't serving you anymore. That did. There's a beautiful and natural energetic connection, but it can't be maintained artificially. Simply that. The path seems like a heartless one sometimes. Appreciate your advice. Same here, Savvy. Trying to figure out another way. I'm okay with being alone. Preferred, actually. But it just seems counterproductive to the teachings at this stage, though. Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, either one of you. As I tried to point out, you've been brought to this place. Look, this isn't a choice. Nobody chooses this path. Nobody in their right mind would choose this path. You're on it long before you realize you're on it. And then by the time that happens, you turn around and there's no way back. Past the point of no return. The critters have eaten all the breadcrumbs you might have left behind. So surrender to the force that brought you here. The power that brought me here must bring me home. Such a beautiful line from Rumi. And full of that kind of religious, genuinely religious surrender. A real sentiment of bhakti, of devotion. I trust you know what you're doing. Because I sure as hell don't. I don't want to hurt anybody. Is this am I being heartless? Should I want to be there? But I don't. That's the truth of the moment, isn't it? That's your truth. You have to stay with it. You have to. I've done plenty that I regret because I didn't actually cling to the truth. I made concessions. Partially because I don't want to hurt anybody, but also partially because I was a bit of a coward. Right? And I didn't want to confront what I had to confront. Those times when you do have to, you don't always, right? Sometimes with friends and things, you just kind of dissolve apart, and there's nothing. Other times, you kind of need to say, no, break this here before you do something else, and when you don't, pay a horrible price. In integrity and it's something we have to mature into. And just so I'm here to help. It's my job. Gotta walk you through it because I've done the stupid stuff and I know the consequences. Do miss the connection. Yeah. Well, those two close friends you had, they passed on. They were choices you made, and that's not the same as the ones that we have to let go of. This takes it to a different level. It's like, wow. Those genuine connections where you are truly valued, they're precious. They're just absolutely precious. And you need to love them and feed them and nourish them and honor them. And because we're all going to pass on. Yeah. Sometimes they just kind of fade out, like in those cases. Other times it's just sudden. Where are they? Where did they go? But this is how we come to terms with life as it is. It's how we learn to let go of what appears and discover what's actually here. That, yeah, the form is gone, but they're not. It's hard for us to get to that place, but you will. We all do. Jay says, I understand the feeling with the brother. Same thing with me. I would rather avoid it. Well, in a sense, I am, Jay. I need to reconnect with my brother, and I asked my sister, let's do it with the three of us, right? And my son, being as blunt as always, kind of reamed me about it, and I said, no, it's not what I'm doing. I want her there. We haven't talked in a long time. Could be really awkward and clumsy, but she talks to both of us. It's my sister. She's a wonder. But at any rate, she'll be the tempering factor. It won't be so frightening, and for me, it won't be so awkward and clumsy. I can lean on that. Because in situations like that, what can happen is old patterns will emerge, old personas. You'll become somebody you were, or you become somebody that's really good at what's the word? Really good at making an appearance. But if you really want to connect, well, that has to be set aside. And I just felt if she was there, I have a way better chance of doing that. Because that's what I want. He's my brother. We experienced the same mother. He had a completely different reaction to it. And he got a very different treatment than I did. But we were both, tied in the backyard and tied into beds. And it happened to both of us. Right? All of that weird stuff that she did, the same kind of coldness and harshness. We reacted very differently. 5 years apart, very different times. But when you get to the root of it, we simply reacted in very, very different ways. He became a very good kid, doing things right, a Christian and right-wing, and I became a total rebel, a hippie against the war, against capitalism, against everything. And I've had to come back to the middle, to find the middle way. And part of that middle way is embracing him with the help of my crutch, the crutch that I have. Yeah, and I have it. Thank God I have it. And since it's there, I'm going to use it until it's not there anymore. So, I know avoidance well. It was my choice until it stopped working. That's it. We make those choices, right? And then destiny says, okay, good. I've done really well up to this time. Time to throw more weight on that bar. Yeah, you can press 100 pounds. Time for 110. What? No, don't take it away. I like it. Don't take away my toy. Yeah. But life knows what it's doing. It's benevolent, and you're so valuable. Remember, this is all about bringing you to freedom, to total, perfect freedom. It's not a punishment. It's not trying to hurt you or harm you or strain you in any way. It's okay. It's time for her to let go of that. It's time for him to just kind of, yeah. And love knows. We just don't set it aside. We have to see clearly enough. You take it away so we can see, or see so clearly that what we were doing before becomes totally unbearable. You just can't do it anymore. The delusion gets cleared, and you go, oh my God! And after the sting wears off, you find you've been changed, and it always ends up being more love. There's more love. There's real love there. Wow. Take a drink here. You're all enjoying the trees behind me. It's incredible. Big actual sequoia redwood out there. It's enormous. It's really, really wonderful. So, Jay, conversation. Emptiness. Yeah, don't worry about that too. My sons bug me, but my sons don't want to talk to their mother. Just not for the same reason. Just my brother and I are just so different. My God, night and day. Coming out of two very different plants from the very same garden. So interesting. So wow. Let's see, Jennifer. I lost you. No picture. No sound. She's taking a break. You weren't paying attention, were you? Yeah, gotcha. Let's see. You guys keep talking. Jay and I. Oh, I missed that. Yes. Shame on you. See, now I know you're actually really ignoring me. Yeah, it's probably something else like football on. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Jay just realized who you actually are. You guys know each other. You're in the same class. Okay. There's no other choice. Yep, that's correct. Oh, there's Christine. Okay. I'm gonna let Allie and Jay chew on it. Christine, GP, this small bit of truth just pierced right through me. The loneliness was there all along. It was just masked by superficial relationship. It's like, how did you know? Love is shown in Texas. Yeah, because it's hard for us to feel. Christine's in my level 1 EFT class. And it's not even a judgment or anything. This is what we do. The pain that we feel as children are growing up by not getting with the connection, the bonding, the love and acceptance that we really needed, and we knew we needed. That pain is so excruciating that it gets suppressed and substituted with stuff that has the appearance, but not the real thing. And at first, it's enough, because at first, the need is just survive. Just get through it. And over a while, it gets so ingrained in us that we don't even think about it. We don't expect more. Our whole sense of identity is based on that. But then, little by little, it begins to break down through things like this. That it's not satisfying. I want more. We become aware, conscious that we want more. This is the awakening. It's the awakening that leads up all the way to full Buddhahood. It's the same thing. Seeing little by little in authenticity what wasn't really being met, and the ways in which we tried to get it to meet it, which temporarily silenced that voice. And so the superficial relationships didn't seem superficial at the time because we didn't know it yet. The masking, it was good enough, right? It was placated enough. I had a couple of drinks. I don't feel as bad now, right? Whatever it is, right? It's like, but then eventually it does run out of steam, because the truth in you, the reality in you, cannot settle for anything less than the real thing. And it's a deep, enormous blessing in life when that starts to become apparent. It's not pleasant, because at first we don't know what the hell's happening. And we can't go forward. We don't know where the hell we're going, but we can't go back. It isn't comfortable anymore. We try. We go through the motions, but eventually you just have to go, I can't do it, right? And of course, the I that says I can't do it is being moved by the true I that is the source and the essence and the ultimate experiencer of that which is real, that which is authentic, that which is truly satisfying. But it, although we don't know it's us yet, because we think we're the sense of identity created by conditioning, convinced that's who we are. We don't know that that's not who we are. Right? So it's who you really are that's kind of pulling the sense of I out of the identification back to itself. It seems like a path, but how can there be a path to you? Love is shown in. Yeah. And you'll notice that as it takes root, and you feel it, as you surrender to it, which is what we have to do, that's what faith is, that your experience of love will be far bigger. You'll be taking in even the superficial relationships. There'll be love for everyone involved in it because you've been through it. This isn't stuff you learned in a book. You've seen it for yourself. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. You're on the path, and there ain't no getting off. You try. You may try. You may wander off into a cul-de-sac or 10. But there's no really getting off. You have been claimed by God, as they would say about once you've actually come to the Guru, and in your heart, and maybe with your lips, ask the Guru to be your teacher. The moment you do that, even if it's in your heart, if it's just to God, if it's just, I want to do that, even if there's nobody there that you can do that to. I was fortunate enough to actually have somebody I could sit in front of and ask and say that to. What happens then? We don't see it right away. But Ramana Maharshi said, it's what you've done is you've put your head in the lion's mouth, and there is no escape from that. I can confess that at the time I did that, I did not realize I had just stuck my head in the lion's mouth. I was equivocating and some artful dodging and the like. But I had. It was over. It was just one thing after another. It would just fall apart because I wanted it. I wanted that to happen in the heart of hearts. Didn't know how to make it happen. So comfortable. It was seeing oneself and the bullshit is healing. It is the healing balm, but it is a very unpleasant medicine. It doesn't taste good. It does all sorts of stuff inside, and nasty stuff comes out everywhere. But the healing is happening. The serum has been administered. There's no way out. Good luck with your brother, GP. 20 years, wow. Good for you for trying. Thank you for sharing that. My heart breaks every time I hear your story. Thanks for all you do and share with us. Yeah. It's a good story. I'm so... I can say, although it took quite a while, that it was worth it. My life had to go the way it went. No mistakes were made. Life, God, truth, it knows what it's doing. Right? And it's under no obligation to explain itself to me. It just does what it needs to do, right? In just the right way, just the right loving touch there, the right vice, the right screws, the right poke, the right Zen stick, the right wanting to get the approval of the Guru, and instead getting this coldness coming. What the? Not getting any ego strokes whatsoever. Then just, I think you're going to collapse, and there's just this incredible love. It's just beyond description. It's, yeah. If there's anything in the conversation you Ali and Jay, you guys are having that you'd like me to comment on, I'd be more than happy to. But I thought I'd just let you guys go and riff for a bit. This is exactly what I mean about finding those connections that do nourish us. Yeah, right there, just happened right before our eyes. God, isn't this amazing? Wow, wow. Well, I got a few minutes here. Anybody has another question? Oh, wait, more came. Here comes more. Just as I was about to say so. Thank you to everyone who has shared these deep, poignant, and honest, come back, and honest experiences of family dynamics. Really touching and moving. Yeah, aren't they? Something so important, so necessary to us. And the fact is, our entire culture has completely gotten disconnected from the most simple, basic human things that we all need and aren't getting. Oh my. Jennifer, today I've just been being with my cat. He's 17 years old and looking ready to leave. Oh. All I've done is hold him. Just be here with this. Just be here for him in this moment. Oh, never Baba. Okay. My last cat, who was my perfect, wonderful friend for 17 years, came with me to New York when I left San Francisco. He was there with me in New York. Just wandered home one day, wandered in. Actually, another cat I had brought her home with him. And she stayed. She was outside for a while, and she got a little bit older and started coming in every now and then until finally, by the time I moved with her out to New York, she was in the house all the time. She was in all the time. So being in an apartment was no big deal. And I remember very well, sitting there with her, because it was clear that she wasn't well. And I said, it's up to you. I mean, I'll do whatever I need to keep this going if you want. It was just so clear. No, it's time for me to go. I sat with her all night. Fell asleep together. This cat actually said my name. I'm not kidding. Greg. I wasn't tripping. I'm not the only one who heard it. Several people heard it. Did she just say your name? Yeah, she did. Very special. Very, yeah. So precious. So precious. And then she was 17. And when we recognize that this is life, this is the preciousness of it. Everything comes and goes. Mushi called death was one of God's greatest ideas. Everything comes and goes except you. And then you find out that you are the it for everyone, and that nothing comes and goes at all. Forms change. But the self doesn't. So nothing is really ever born. Nothing ever really dies. Nothing transforms. It's all the self. David, if I lived in a house with a bunch of football fans, I'd be jumping off the Space Needle. Yeah, you can't. It's glass. You can't jump off. Yeah, it'd be a good option. Yeah. Although they used to have a restaurant it was 2 levels. They have a restaurant on the bottom, and that was replaced by a glass floor. That was something. The first time I went up there after they had done that, I took my grandson there, who was visiting because he's applied to go to University of Washington, and you step out of, there's the part that's circling around and the part that's stable. It was like, ooh, it took me a minute to actually step out there. My body didn't want to do it. It's very, very funny. So unfortunately, there's no way to jump off. Yeah. You're lovely, GP. Thank you, Ella. Thanks. Marty, having your sister participate with your meeting with your brother sounds like wisdom. Sure as hell does. Sure as hell does, yeah. And I don't care if it isn't. I'm sticking with it. Yeah, I need it. I obviously need it. Yeah, and the opportunity's there, and she's here, and I'm the youngest, right? He's 5 years older than me. She's 13 years older than me. Yeah, and so good for all of us, actually. I think as we're all winding down, we're all kind of short timers there. Yeah. Mary, thank you for answering my question just now. I did. Did I? Did I answer your question, Mary? Maybe somebody else. Okay, I did. There's nothing to it. Oh, now we're gonna get all the cat stories. God, geez, you guys. How lifelong pain and sadness is worth it would make a good book, GP. I've tried writing books. I need a ghostwriter. A million ideas. I can't organize my way out of a paper bag, I swear to God. Yeah. I literally have a checklist on my phone to make sure I don't forget something in the morning on my way to the gym. Can't believe how many times I watch my phone, right? It's like, no, you are, this is not a businessman. This is not an organizer. Yeah. And a book just, it's just, I've tried, and yeah, maybe some help will come out of the woodwork to do it, but it's not going to happen. I also spent her day with a cat. Just became a new one. The other one is I'm not sure he's liking it. Yeah. Let's see. So good to see and hear you. And thank you for being here, GP. Endless gratitude. So welcome, Ida. Tabia, how to help a teen who's self-harming and not willing to take any help? How do you want to immune yourself from disrespect of others? How can I change self-talk and be more compassionate? How to erase the past? Oh, huh. Well, stop asking how to. Really, stop. Just stop asking how to. It's just your mind trying to figure out what it can do when it can't do it. It's a job it cannot do. It will fail every time it tries. And in fact, it's its repeated attempts that have made the disasters in the first place. It made the self-talk, the nasty self-talk. It's created the past. It's created the sensitivity to others' disrespect. All of it. The tool that created it can't be the tool that transcends it. So you can't help anybody who is not open to receiving help. It's a wonderful line. Quoted it before. It's an incredible book, children's book, not really, called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. I highly recommend it. It doesn't take long to read. The artwork is beautiful, but at any rate, just one page. It's a sample of it. And the boy asks the horse, says, "What's the bravest thing you've ever said?" And the horse responded, "Help." So you're all brave. You're here asking for help. I have no idea how brave that is. You know, I can say my life was worth it because it took the suffering that I experienced to break the delusion. And is continuing to, because I'm just assuming there's more. That's what it takes. So whatever it takes for whoever this teen is to break that delusion, life will give it, will bring. We cannot control or judge or even wonder at why somebody has the experience they do. And our own self, we're going to say, why isn't it easy? Why aren't I prosperous like these guys? Why doesn't these things come easy like them? Because it's your life for you. And the destiny of your life is not some kind of material success or anything like that. It is to wake up. And if you recognize that that's what's happening for this youngster, you'll let it happen. You won't be afraid of it. And then there may be a glimmering, something in there that is asking for help and doesn't even know how. And you might be able to do something, but you don't have to. Right? You won't be doing it. The love, the godly love that is pouring onto that child will do it. It may come through you, maybe not. But it's always to our good. It's always benevolent, no matter what it appears like. And the same thing is true. Your self-talk. How do you make it be more compassionate? Drop it. Drop trying to change it. Drop trying to fight with yourself, which will just make all the inner stuff more aggressive. And stay with this. The self-talk hurts. It's painful, even unbearable. And I want to find the way to be more compassionate. Now, stop asking how and stay with that desire like it's a prayer, because that's what it is. And don't even worry about how do I erase the past, which is just the mind thinking, if I can erase the past, then this won't happen. Throw it all out. It's useless. What's real here? This hurts. I'm in pain. I want to discover that love that is compassionate towards me and others. I want that. I know how to get it. Good. So don't ask how. Just say, please help me. Open your heart and let it go. Surrender it. Really surrender it. Well, as much as you can. Nobody can surrender at all. Because that too is not an act of will. We can't even do that. We have to want to do that. The wanting to do that is being inspired by the truth of you, and it's bringing you home. It's making this whole thing happen. So, good. Scroll ahead. Boy, you guys are just chatting up a storm here, aren't you? I wonder how the whole thing will turn out when our parents aren't around anymore. Well, my parents aren't. They haven't been for quite a while. Geez, my dad died over 50 years ago. No, about 50 years ago. Yeah, it's been quite a while. Igor says I've had it. Yeah. Okay, anyway. Friends Jay. That's funny. I could tell the dog story for a change. Thank you, CM. Bring it up a bit, will you? We're in cats, we're in family. Yeah, I got a bunch of conversations going here. I feel like the moderator. Jeez, come on, guys. Um, the question that you answered, says Mary, was not asked by me, just a thought, but you answered it by referring to your own experience. Oh, good. Weird how that happens, isn't it? Yeah. Let's see. Everything has worked together for my good. It's a truth. Take it to your heart. Everyone has got a mantra about anything. Everything has worked together for my good. Your mind doesn't believe it, so fine. Right? It will argue it's not true. But don't just repeat it. Just go, you know, something inside me knows this is true. I want to touch that. I want to see that for myself so that I don't need a mantra. I just know it. I don't need a reminder. I just know it. This is the pathless path towards a knowing that is so solid and so firm and so real that you don't need a reminder. It is you. You don't need a reminder to blink or grow your hair. You don't need a reminder for you to remember your name. It's just there. This is the level of ascendancy that is possible. Just persist to get there. Don't settle for anything less. Use the tools, mantras, meditation, tapping. Use them. They're not the end. They're only there to help the process. They're there as a temporary means until no means are necessary because you are that and you know it. That is, the one you've always been and who has always known you is the only thing here. And the one who's been seeking simply vanishes in the inquiry. CM, just this week, I asked the universe for help, and on Friday we talked, and on Saturday I was in the level 1 EFT course. Realized it yesterday during the class. Yeah, I'm so glad you're there too. You know what? I didn't realize you were the CM. I just realized it. God, existence is amazing. God will make a way, or I see no way. Yeah. Wonderful. Yes, Allie's usually the fly on the wall, and now she's chatting everybody up. Yeah. Fly has transformed. What a great tea with G today. Thank you, GP and everyone. I need to rewatch. It's that good. Oh, thank you all. Thank you, David and Elaine, and Jay, and Jennifer, and CM, and Janet Carl, and Tivy, and oh God, everyone. Thank you all. Thank you all for being open-hearted enough to respond to this path. As you can tell, it's a narrow gate that we're going through. It's a gateless gate. It's a narrow one. So, my love to you all. Until next week, and those, of course, that I see in the 3 classes I'm doing. Boy, it's so busy right now. We'll see you all very soon. Love you. Namaste.